Good morning, welcome to Something Saturday. So as I was nostalgically going through my old catalogue, which retires on the 7th, I happened to come across this page here, page 121, and it had a couple of fun folds, and I thought, oh, you know what, I've never noticed that. So just as well I looked through it again, and I figured we'd have a go at this one. So it is called Peekaboo. It says break from the usual square and rectangle cards by creating an angled reverse trifold card. Use a paper trimmer to cut an angle from the card front to give a peek of the inside piece and fold the inside piece over to create a closure. So there you go. It makes all perfectly sense, doesn't it? Just like mud, as they say. Anyway, I was thinking that we might sneak a peek on something new here, and we're going to check out the Cheers and Sips. Actually, I think it's called Celebratory Sips Bundle. No, Suite, because after looking at it all, I just went, I want the whole lot. So it has this stamp set here, Cheers and Sips. Let's just make sure we're in focus and not too light. No, we're good. So it has a couple of cups and a little umbrella and some other bits and pieces, as you can see. Then we have the die set, which cuts out varying parts of this. Then there is also these rather gorgeous, whatever they're called, which I'm going to turn it over and tell you, holographic resin dots. And I like holographic things. Ooh, blingy. Okay, let's tuck those back away if I can persuade them to sit back in there again. Go on, in you go, in you go. There we go. And then it also has, but wait, there's more, this rather lovely ribbon, which is called mesh ribbon, gold striped mesh ribbon. There we go. It also has these two embossing folders, which are called glass and cards, and I am not sure whether you can see this, so hang on one sec. Oh, let's see. Oh, that's better. There we go. There's that one, and there is also, not sure how well that's coming out, that one. Okay, so Glass and Gardens embossing folders. And then there is also papers. Woohoo for papers. So the papers are called Celebratory Sips Designer Series Papers, or as I would call them, DSP. And they are 12 by 12, but I happen to have them cut down to a 6 by 6 size. So this is what you get. This is one of the new in colours, by the way, called Secret Sea. I have a feeling that I might have shown this off before once, but we'll see. And then there's this one, and that's on the back. Actually, maybe I should just... There we go. There's that, and that on the back. There's this one, which is really cool, cut out with the cups, actually. And that on the back. And then there are actually some cups as well. But these ones you'd have to cut out by hand with the extra bits on them, rather than just cutting them out with the die, because otherwise you'll be cutting off all the extras. And that's on the back of that one. And then there's this one with this on the back of it. So I was thinking for this that we would use some of what we've got here. And I'm going to mix and match it with a bit of Petunia Pop, because having gone through my cardstock and tried to match this up, I went, oh, well, hang on a minute, Petunia Pop goes perfectly. And I didn't even consider looking to see whether that's one of the colours they recommend with it. Let's see, they've got Berry Burst, Blackberry Bliss, oh yeah, Bubble Bath, Cloud Cover, which is one of the new ones, Daffodil Delight, Lemon Lime Twist, Old Olive, Peach Pie, Pretty in Pink, Secret Sea, Strawberry Slush, and Timid Tiger. Clearly Petunia Pop is one of the ones that is just a happy extra. So, now, I've gone and got rid of this, and I can't remember what page it was on now. Oh, it's here. There it is. Okay, so they've done it as a horizontal card, landscape. That sounds way better than horizontal, doesn't it? I'm going to do it as portrait. Why? Because I just so happen to have one of these cards cut into portrait, and I really couldn't be bothered to cut out another piece of cardstock and change it. So we're going to cut off half of the front like that, so that we just have this piece that's flapping around in the wind now. So, oh, I gotta love me. Then we are going to take a piece of this one because I can, and so if I do that, then it's going to end up that way up. It's going to end up upside down. Oh, never mind. No, we're going to go for it anyway. All right. So what I want to do is I want a piece that's going to be able to sit into here nicely. They have done theirs so it actually covers it completely. I'm not going to. And because that's just the way that I am. So I want mine to be about this size. Where's my pencil gone to? There it is. All right. So if I want mine to be there, so I'm kind of thinking that it would be nice if it cut down about there. So therefore, about there and probably about there. Therefore, we are going to now cut a rectangular piece. I think it was there. Great. Yeah, I think it was. Can't actually see my mark. Marvellous. Always a good thing. And I can't see my mark on this piece either. Gee, I'm doing well. Oh, there it is. Right, I see it. I see it. Found it. So we are then going to cut off that piece. And hopefully this works. If it doesn't, you won't be seeing the video. Okay. Why is it that doesn't look like it's going to work? I don't know why that doesn't look like it's going to work. You would think it would because I've cut it right. I know. Maybe it's just the way I'm looking at it. All right. Excuse the fact that there is rain in the background. It's very exciting. We're getting rain. Hang on. I'm just going to see whether I've actually got that right. And if you happen to hear the occasional drop, it's because my craft room is not particularly good at being waterproof. There is a bucket up behind me on one of the shelves that catches the drops that come in through the ceiling. How marvellous. Okay, that's not going to work at all. Yeah, no, this is right then. Yeah, look, that fits nicely into there. Okay, I'm actually going to stick that piece down. And I have no idea what size it was, so maybe that would be a good idea if I actually found out what size I'd used. Let's see. There is... what have we got there? We have got about 14 centimetres. Let's just jot that down on something. 14 centimetres, and then we did it by... What have we got? Oh, wow. Well, 9.7. Yeah, sort of 9.7 centimetres. That's not really a nice round figure, but never mind. That's what happens when you sort of eyeball things, as it were. Okay, let's stick this down. Let's go with a bit of a Tombow. Of course I have done the wrong piece. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I am just going to attach it to this piece that I cut off because I clearly managed to do the wrong piece. So that is... Oh, no. Don't you just love it when you do that? All right, we will try again. I was going to use the other side of that on the inside of this, but there you go. Not going to now. All right, round 2. So my thought was that the green was going to go on the inside there. Clearly it's not, because, well, I put glue on it and now it's stuck on there. So it would be kind of cool to actually, yeah, just thinking it could make an interesting card to sort of like do something like that and trim off the bottom. Don't know. Anyway, that's not going to help us now. Bother. So I need another piece for the inside, and I'm feeling like I should use a different colour. I'm going to just stop the video and work out what I'm doing and then come back to you. So I made a decision, and I have embossed the back of this with the Glass and Gardens embossing folder. Hopefully you can kind of see that. And then I've decided on a piece of fresh freezer cardstock, which I'm then going to have it as a wrong way round card, if that makes sense. And I'm going to add a bit of this designer paper to it. Hopefully this looks okay. So I've cut the pieces to the sizes that I wanted them, so that they would fit nicely onto here. I have to admit that the piece of fresh freezer cardstock was just a random piece that I happened to find in my cupboard, and I just went, well, that looks like it would do. That'd be about the right size. So actually I'm not 100% sure what size it is, but it's just a case of having a sort of little card that will go into here. And this one sort of seems to fit quite nicely. And the other thing I did do was I actually cut myself another piece of this. So yeah, now I have 2 pieces of it. And what would have been smart would have been to actually cut it so that I could have used the green on this side, because that would have looked quite nice actually, but I wasn't that smart. So yeah, and I wasn't going to cut another piece after having cut this one. So I will find something to do with the other pieces and probably pop those onto my blog actually and say, oh look, here's what I did with the other pieces. So we'll pop that one into there. So we've got sort of 2 matching pieces. I mean, they're not identical, obviously, cut from different parts of the cardstock. And then you've got this nice embossing, which hopefully you can see. Let's just bring it in, and a little bit hard to see, but let's just pop it back down again. Not sure whether I like the thing on that. Anyway, and then this piece will just sit inside here. So you know what, conveniently enough, that actually is exactly the right size. I wonder what size this is. Shall I measure it? It appears to be 14.8 by 10.5. Interesting, because I know I scored it at 7.4, and obviously that is actually quite a good size to sit in there, because it does seem to look kind of nice. Okay, so we're just going to attach this piece in. Let's just see whether we can persuade it to sit so that it's about in the middle there. Open it up. That's looking pretty good actually. I'm impressed with myself. And then we just really need a little piece of white cardstock into the middle there to write on, so that it gives us something nice looking. So the one that they have in the catalogue is this one here, where they've obviously used a little bit more stamping and things, which clearly I didn't actually think about using stamping. I really should have done. Maybe I'll make another one and actually stamp something on it too. Well, I'll tell you what, check out my blog anyway, and if I make another one, I will add it onto there. But it is a kind of cool card. So it's, yeah, just a little bit different, that, you know, when you send it, it looks like that. They can open it, they can have it like that, or they can have it like that, or they can have it like that. You know, there's all sorts of possibilities, isn't there? Right, come back and join me next Saturday and we'll check out something else. Thanks so much for joining me, and check out the links below, and check out my blog. Thanks, bye.